Chris and Ryan, and we know that you're dying to hear what we have to say today. I say we hear what we have to say today. It's the blank. Fill it in. Fill it in. Fill it in. Yeah.
Give me that old school love right now. You know I feel hey 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 your
That's
ho.
not how the song
As long
goes.
as I feel, as long as you feel. Give
That's
me
not how the
that
song goes.
old school love. Yeah, it is. Isn't it Lupe Fiasco featuring what's his name? Johnny Cash?
Ed Sheeran.
It's Johnny Cash. Doesn't he go like that? Give me that old school love right now. You know, no, hey, no, hey, no, hey, her.
Wow, that's really
All
messed
right,
up.
well, whatever, I
Really
don't
messed
care.
up.
Anywho, Young World, another week, another edition, another episode of The Blank. I am Carlos,
And I'm Ryan.
and welcome to The Blank with Carlos and Ryan. As you can see, we are going a bit old school today with a Zoom-like episode. We'll get back into that in a little bit. But Ryan, do your little intro there.
I just wanted to say thank you. Another week. Welcome for this week. You can definitely tell, and we'll definitely talk about what's going on and why we're not in the same room. And we'll also get Carlos to explain exactly the background that he happens to have as well. But just wanted to say thank you for another week. There's a lot going on in this fucking summer. I'm sure everyone knows there's just events upon events. But we're still, coming back to you with, weekly episodes kind of thing. So yet again, thank you. Thank you. We really mean it. Super appreciative for you to listen to this week's episode. So thank you. But Carlos,
How's your
how
weekend?
my weekend was wonderful, man. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, what you do?
I got to, there are quite a bit of events for all of our Toronto fans and, Toronto locations. I believe that there was Jerk Fest this weekend. A couple different things around.
Can't talk about stuff. There's kids watching the show, dude.
Okay. But yeah, a bunch of events going on in Toronto. But the one thing that I did happen to attend was my cousin's wedding. I do want to say shout out to Sal and Stephanie. I hope you a wonderful marriage. It was a wonderful wedding. I got to see a lot of guys I don't get to see as often anymore, and shout out to them. It was a wonderful thing, man. Honestly, like it was a huge wedding too. There's like 250 people there to like 300 people.
God damn.
Just absolutely tons of fun. I had a great time. I didn't take any videos, I don't think, but if I did, then I'll take a look back and maybe we can post something on our Instagram for it. But it was cool. It was cool. But yeah, Carlos, what about you? What about your weekend, man? Let's hear about yours.
My weekend was all right. Friday we chilled out and had that little bit of a pool party there. That was a fun time. And then Saturday I ended up going to Cultureland, the festival. It was a Saturday show where Burna Boy performed. It was a good show. A few bit of delays. So initially it was supposed to start at 2 o'clock, but they didn't allow people in until like 5 or 6.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and there was just delays upon delays, and there were supposed to be whole like pop-up shops and stuff like that. It was literally the bar and then the stage.
That was it, huh?
That was it. And then
So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, because don't interrupt me. That's rude. What the hell? And then yeah, the show, the stage was they had this space for the stage for the people to show, and I basically felt like a sardine in that crowd.
Oh,
There was
really?
like no room to dance. There was, you felt a little bit squished in, and yeah. And it was time for Berna to show up, and he came, and people were throwing the amount of phones that were up. It was like really disappointing. Like it was like blocking my view.
Okay,
The
okay,
cell
yeah.
phones coming up. It's like, really, guys, come on, let's enjoy the show. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, he's a really good performer. I must say, yeah, like he's like he really knows how to engage the crowd. So he's really good. It was like three people that like fainted.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and it ended up like people like the concert people actually have to end up throwing water bottles into the crowd. Like it
that's
was that
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like that nuts. And it was
No,
a
I can
funny thing
imagine.
because like normally when people fainted, everyone's like, oh my god. This is why you should never do these events with Africans because all you hear when the people face like, like what? It sounds so annoying. It's just like this another person has fainted. You just hear other Africans go, ah. Just like
Oh my
okay.
God.
I'm like, all right, yeah, that sounds about right. Because I didn't want to say it because in my head I'm just like, man, the show's finally coming up and people are fainting out here and shit.
How
But it didn't. And luckily, it only happened. Well, not luckily. Well, there was at one point during Brenna's actual set that one person fainted, but it was two people fainted like during the pre-show where they had to delay. I don't know. Like I guess it was just lack of water, and I don't know what happened there. It was just heat. I don't know what got to them there. But
that's crazy.
overall, it was a lot. I drove there, and there was a lot of traffic getting out of there, so it took me a little bit. But I left there with my head held high, a great concert experience, good times with friends, and the coronavirus. Yes, folks, the jig is up. I have tested positive for COVID-19. And I just want to say to all my fellow members of the Pure Blood Brigade, Corona's real, guys, and I was wrong all this time, and you should definitely get the vaccine. To all my fellow truckers out there that are protesting, guys, the government's definitely onto something here, and you should definitely get tested just in case, and if isolate, stay in your room and get the vaccine as soon as you can. And that's why I have these jail cells here. I've been isolating for only 2 days now, but it felt like 5 years. It's been tough. I miss my family. Although I've seen them all this morning. I miss some of my friends. Some of them. Yeah, I miss people like Alesha, Sherwin, Natalia, Dixon, Kento, Ali, Murph, Mansoor, Daniel. That's literally it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and
Fine. That's
Johnny
fine.
too. Johnny, Sean. Yeah, that's it off the top of my head. I forgot your names. You know who you are. You know who you are.
Anyone in particular that you happen to partner up with, on a weekly basis to express your thoughts and feelings towards certain things in life, talk about recent
Um,
news, trying to produce a business here, like an artistic creative outlet, be at business. No. All right.
I said Alesha's name. I mean, she made the poster, right? I said Alesha, right? Did I not?
Wonderful poster, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it, right?
So I got a few questions, Carlos.
Yes.
So how long did Burger Boy perform for?
How long was the show? Hmm. I think maybe 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a
I
good
think
show.
so. But I didn't really keep track of time because I didn't have room to check I was wearing a watch and I couldn't even even I
Like
threw my
lift
hands
your.
up. Like
That's crazy.
I couldn't keep it up for long or else I would lose my space from my arm. But overall, it actually was a good show. Popcorn came out for one song. That was good.
Amazing. Amazing.
Um, but luckily, yeah, I attended the Good Festival for that weekend because I heard the other ones were pretty ass
Yeah.
in recent news. Because the one I went to, it was a 2-day festival, and the second show was not good, from what I'm reading. I'm sure you made aware of it, but just a report. So Janae Aiko was the main headliner. A few other guests as well. So Fireboy, DML, Western, and Stoneboy, a few other artists as well were scheduled to perform. But so for the second day, it was supposed to be at the same place I went to, which is Markham Fairgrounds. But maybe like 2 hours before they open doors, they announced that they're going to move their festival to Ajax.
What a
Like
mess.
literally, I'm just like, oh, this will not end well. There's no way they have the time to, because they have to sound check. They have to and there was definitely not enough time to do all of that. And so they moved it there. And so some of the artists performed on there. There was microphone issues. Um, Not enough people were in attendance because they couldn't make it. Like going from Markham to Ajax is quite a travel.
Definitely.
Um, and then Janae Aiko dropped out. Fireboy and Stoneboy couldn't get their visas in time because they only announced those artists like a few days before, and so they weren't even confirmed. And so I think only like maybe 3 artists performed, and then one of the event creators was just like, yeah, the event's over today. We're sorry. The best that we can do. Drive safe.
What a
But
fucking mess.
yeah, it was a shit show.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and that's just from video. And I'm just like, and I talked to my friend, I'm like, yo, because at first I was pretty jealous. I'm just like, yo, I'm a huge Fireboy fan. I would have loved to see him in concert. But then I'm just like, yo, you cannot believe how grateful I am that we did not go to that event, bro. Holy shit. I was like, damn, we avoided that shit show. Thank God. But yeah, that was a shit show in itself. And also, what's a Kingston Music Festival also was bad. The one they had in Downsview. Your homegirl, Shensia was there. She performed. She actually went on Twitter to apologize for the microphone sounding shitty, which is no fault of her own. I mean, it's not her fault. It's all Kingston's music festival. And then Popcorn also performed at that festival, and he went on the mic and talked shit about the organizers doing their horrible. Like it was bad, dude. Like it was like the microphones was off. Like there was not enough water for the audience. People got in for free because the fence broke. Like it was a horrible, terrible experience. And that was just a 1 day. I believe it was just a 1 day thing. What was I gonna say? And so the organizer of that event was interviewed Monday to talk about what the hell went down.
Mhm.
And he apologized for the experience. He said there will be no refunds for the event.
What?
Now, but hear me out. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a bit. Y'all paid for a show. Y'all paid for an attempt. All right. Y'all is not y'all don't expect a 10 out of 10 show. All right. I think I'll give him that. It was shitty, yes, but he did say that anyone who attended this year will get 50% off for the next event.
Oh my god.
Now, hear me out for this. For you motherfuckers that are dumb enough to pay for next year's event because you get 50% off, absolutely. All right. You deserve to faint at the show. Okay. You deserve to faint at the show.
Oh my
All right.
god.
Oh, also the organizer said that, there was a lot of money put in to get the artists there, saying that they paid for the jets and all that shit. Popcorn went on Instagram to say like, this dude's full of shit. He didn't pay for any of my jet. I paid my own money for it to fly here, to perform
So
here. So yeah, the organizer's a snake, and I would not want to do anything that he has anything to do with at all. At all. But yeah, that was my weekend
a lot of people were
experience.
saying that it was very, very similar to like the whole fire
That
festival
Fire
kind of thing.
Festival was absolutely okay, that was bad. I don't know about this.
And I
Don't
guess
get me wrong, this was good. Like the artist showed up. You know what I mean? Fire Festival was an absolute devastation. That was like
yeah.
worst of the worst.
It's got to be pretty fucking devastating, though. I was reading this one article on, Cultureland, right? Was the festival?
Cultureland, yeah.
So Cultureland. So this one lady, she came all the way from like Lindsay, Ontario, which is I think it's like 2 hours away from where the location is, and then her friend, that she went with, actually like used her vacation days to come to this event because you know where she was coming from? Nunavut.
Oh my god.
She flew all the way from Nunavut to Toronto to come watch
One of
this
the
for
3
2 days.
territories.
Literally from Nunavut. And she's literally like, I took a whole 2 weeks off. I booked hotels, Airbnbs, the amount of money. And then all of a sudden, the first day's cool and all. And then just goes to shit after that kind of thing. And like, that's gotta be fucking devastating, man. Like to spend that much time. God.
Damn.
Yeah, like Carlos, luckily we live in Toronto, so it's like,
yeah.
If we have a bad time at a festival, you leave, you go somewhere else, you go downtown or whatever like that.
I'm not gonna lie. Had my day been a disaster and I got COVID after that, I'd want to shoot somebody. I'd want to shoot somebody. I'd want to kill a few people. I end up like that dude on Six Buzz today that's fucking throwing rocks at people's cars and shit and dancing. I would have ended up like that dude for sure.
Crazy.
But yeah, that's nuts, man. Do you think you and I can make a big ass festival? A successful one?
I think it would be something that's like, in the future. I think that it's something that, every the blank festival, like that would be, I think the blank festival would definitely be something really cool. I know that, and this is probably not anytime soon, but I did speak to Carlos and we are looking at to do potentially an event for our friends and family and, fans and stuff like that. So please look out for that if we do happen to come up with something.
Yeah.
The very first blank event, that would be really cool. But yeah, no, man. Something in the future to think about.
So let's look ahead to the future. Let's say we have this big ass festival. Let's plan this festival right now, you and me. All right.
All right.
Who's the main headliner for this festival?
Me.
Okay, Ryan, let's try and sell tickets for this festival. Who's the main headliner for this festival?
It's still you?
What? Jesus Christ. We're hosting the thing. We have to come in. We're MCs for this event. We're talking musical artists that are up there. So who are we talking here?
I don't know. I would love a lot of people to come, man. There would be like
Hold
some
and name
really.
them. Let's get these motherfuckers. Let's make it
I
a
would
2 day
love.
event.
I
Let's
would love
let
to do
let's
like.
compete with what's that? Let's compete with Rolling Loud. What's other of these events that are out there?
I would like I think it's Chappelle's block party that they do in Chicago every year. Or like every like that would I think that'd be really cool. There's
So you want
like,
to do that on like Dundas Square, sort of?
yeah, something like that. That'd be really cool. Like freaking getting like the Roots, and then like you even have like I think like even when people show up to that, like there's like certain areas where you can go listen to like freaking live poetry, and like it's not only music in itself, it's also just like a big fucking party of like art and like stand-up comics and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily would have to be everything music wise, even though that would be, cool and
Why
successful
do I
because
get
we
the
have.
feeling you're peering towards spoken word poetry? Like you just
Yeah,
want this spoken word poet to go on stage.
I don't know. That'd be fun though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Raphael de la Tunde. They all clapping. It's just Ryan with one of those poet hats and sunglasses. He starts throwing powder to the audience. What the fuck is Ryan doing?
Yeah, man. I think it
Oh
would be.
boy.
I think it'd be really cool to host an event.
Oh, for
Down the
sure.
line. Yeah. What about
But
you?
here's
Who is like the top three artists that are top three things that you would want at a festival?
okay. So I would want to host a music festival. I would want who would I want as the main headliner? Drake's overrated. All right. Drake has his own thing.
I love you, Drake. I don't
He's
listen to
not
what Carlos is
overrated.
saying.
It's just like he has his own OVO. Have who would I love to have? Burna would have to be up there because I just seen him perform and he's pretty solid. Um, Lupe, but he's like low on the level. Like he's probably one of the opening acts.
What?
Yeah, and
What?
yeah, who else would I want on there? Jay-Z, he's like up there.
That'd be an expensive ticket, man.
That would be hey. You know what? I'll become friends with him, and then we'll be close enough where he can do one show for me for free.
That'd be pretty
I don't care if
wild.
it's only like 2 songs. I'll be like, great, thanks, Jay. You're the man, Jay. Dave Chappelle can do a
Right.
set. Shensia, but she's doing one song because I have to hold the security. I have to tell security to hold Ryan back. And there's only so many songs I can hold them back for. Like, all right, Shensia, leave now. Get out now. Save yourself. And then, yeah, that's my dream festival. But there'll be side things as well. We'll have actual pop-up shops. We'll have like we'll create a whole weekend out of it. We'll host like a game, like a celebrity softball game or like a celebrity or frisbee because you like frisbee.
That would
It'll
be
be a
pretty sick.
celebrity frisbee game on like the Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday will be the actual events. And then this celebrity frisbee game will be charitable, so the money will goes towards a charity of our choosing.
Carlos got this whole thing planned, man.
I'm telling you, man,
Whole
this is
thing
gonna be a
planned.
big deal. It's gonna be a huge deal. Mark my fucking words, man. Yeah, that's the Blank Festival in a nutshell for me.
So
We'll have a few
another.
Canadian artists though too.
Yeah, no,
But
you
like,
have to. You have to.
yeah.
I was gonna
Shania
say,
Twain.
oh, that'd be huge,
That'd be nuts.
huge.
Nuts.
So my second part of this question about your weekend is
Yeah.
the COVID part. I'm sure
Mhm.
that all of our
Of
listeners,
course
all
it
of our
is.
fans, happen to be listening to. Yet again, thank you for joining in this week. Free Carlos, free Carlos. But tell them how you've been feeling, man. Like, what have you been doing the last couple days? Have you been working? Because we know that you work from home. Have you been like, just watching movies? Like, what have you been doing for the past 2 days? You know what I mean? And how you feeling first and foremost?
I feel like ass. Feel not good. Well, I feel
Straight up.
better now. I feel much better than yesterday. Yesterday was a nightmare in
Mhm.
itself. Big, quite a bit of a fever, bit of a headache, sore throat. Today it's more so it's just a lot of cold sweats and sore throat. I haven't been working, although I work from home. I'm not trying to talk to these motherfuckers while I'm sick and shit. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to argue and just like be like sick and whatnot. Like it's gross.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, just been what have I been doing? I've been reading a little bit.
Amazing.
Um, just watching a few reality shows. Shout out to Ali. She knows what I'm talking about. I mean, um, yeah, that's about and resting a lot. Been sleeping and resting a lot. Taking my Tylenols and whatever homemade remedies. My mom gave me alcohol for
Oh
my
yeah.
sore throat. I'm
Oh
just like,
yeah.
oh, it helps, it helps. I'm like, what? It helps,
It
just drink it.
does.
No, coming from you, it fucking doesn't. Listen, oh,
110% it
shut up.
helps.
My throat is still sore and it
That's what
doesn't do
you
jack
have to
shit.
keep drinking.
Oh,
That is the
Jesus
only way to get
Christ.
better.
Oh, shut up. Anyways, let me take this lozenge. This episode sponsored by Cepacol? Sapacol.
Sepacol.
Cepacol. That legit helps with sore throat. Fucking downing Johnny Walker is not gonna help your case, buddy.
Telling you,
Alright?
man. That's a game.
No, it isn't.
But
Ridiculous.
you
She
know,
said that she said that her nurse buddies took it when their throat is sore. I'm like, Mom, you freaking help old people who are depressed and miserable. Of course it helps with their
oh
shit.
man.
Alcohol helps with their shit. Nah.
They got all this they got all the solutions, man. Those guys got all like kinds of life experience on us. Like it's just the way that you roll it, man.
Whack. Whack.
100%.
Lame.
I know when I'm getting sick as fuck, I'm sitting there downing liquor.
Well, what is that difference? Doesn't make it whether you're sick or not. This guy, I know when I'm sick, I'm dead. This guy
Yeah.
would do it
Tell you,
sober.
man. Tell you.
What do you mean?
The way to do it. So you get
Oh,
better.
please.
Not your liver, but everything else is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. That liver. Oh Jesus, that liver of yours. If only if livers could talk. That liver of yours must have stories upon stories.
So the crazy thing with and all our listeners, and I'm sure that there's probably people out there that we almost like forgot about COVID for it seems like a couple of months. Like Carl's, we started meeting back in person. Like even just doing this meeting in itself, like over Zoom, is crazy because it feels like we almost have to take a step back just for this episode. But it's almost like people got. Well, that's weird. Hold on.
Uh-oh, remaining time.
Running out of time. That's weird. But it's almost as if we almost forgot about COVID for so long. And in this case, it's still existent, and it feels like a lot more people happen to be getting it as well. Like I know Carlos and I both have, certain friends that have gotten it that didn't even get it during like the peak of that kind of stuff. So it seems like it is coming back. And like, what do you think about that, Carlos?
I mean, yeah, it sucks, but again, that's the point of it. That's life now. You know what I mean? You have to get used to this being in COVID being in the mix. It's basically the cold or the flu, but it's just something that they don't know too much of yet. I mean, they have the vaccines and stuff, but I mean, it's something that you can't really maintain. Like you can't really take a Tylenol for it.
Mhm.
I mean, what can you do? That's yeah, it's part of life now. Part of the mix now. So instead of worry, well, not instead, but we're worrying about chicken pox and um, the cold and influenza and monkeypox now. I heard you only get it through anal sex, is that correct?
I wouldn't know, man.
Well, I'm not asking through experience. I'm saying that through article. Why are you like this?
Oh, I think it's like any sort of like blood, freaking mix. I think it's something along those lines. You know what I mean?
Does anal sex transfer blood to one another?
I, I would think so,
That's
at least a little
fascinating.
bit. I think at least
That
a little bit.
sucks. Because well, yeah, because there was this article how this man was married to a woman, and they announced that the man got monkeypox, and they announced later that that the monkeypox is only transferable through homosexual sex, and I'm just like, oh, that dude has some explaining to do to the wife, um, to the wife and kids, um. And then I'm sure he denied it at first. Like, this is bullshit. I got it from jogging in the park. This is bullshit. There's no way I got it. No way. I ain't gay. Hell no, I ain't gay.
Yeah, I think it's like very similar to like HIV kind of thing. Like anybody can get it. I know there's been a couple stories that I've
Can
read
you
where
die from
women are
it?
getting it. I don't think so. I think it's just like really
Is there
hurting
stories of?
rashes and stuff.
I've
Yeah,
never seen a woman.
I've seen a couple of women have it, and like
Hmm.
however they got it, I didn't really say, but I'm sure that there's cases of women getting it as well. So
Hmm.
I don't think it's purely you know two guys getting it on. So
Okay. Doing the hung down smackdown.
yeah, the
Hmm.
Tokyo Sandblaster
Doing
kind
the
of thing.
slam down. Doing a slam down in man down. You know what I'm saying? The slam lam lam double and hum tom tom double.
But
The
yeah,
Himini Habida Harmony.
one of those
Oh
things,
boy.
man.
One of those things.
So we did talk about our weekends, Carlos, and both in like I wish you well. I'm sure our listeners do hope the exact same thing as well. So definitely free Carlos. That will be the hashtag or the line for this episode. But one of the other things that I did want to
Would you
speak
do a
about
conjugal visit?
is conjugal, the one where they like
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't do that with you. No, I would come visit. We do like the whole put our fist to the glass, call each other. Conjugal, I don't know about that one.
Whatever. Whatever. Anyways,
Um,
continue with your dumb question. You stupid fucking question.
we talked about our week, but one of the recent news things that did want to bring up that was widely in the news as of last week. There was a nurse somewhere in America, I forget exactly where she was, and she was deemed like mentally ill
Mm,
because she flew her Mercedes like 100 miles an hour into like
mm,
a loaded intersection.
yeah,
Super, super fucking sad, man. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
that like 6 people died or something like that.
An 11
Um,
month year old died.
yeah, like some
11
of the
month 11
saddest
month
shit.
old died, and a woman pregnant with a baby died.
And stuff like that is just the fucking worst, man. And where I saw the story from was actually on Reddit. I was watching
Mm,
this video of her just like pouring her eyes out on the stand. And I'm like, man, like this poor woman. And then finally I read like the actual fucking news for it. And
mm,
like that lady's fucking nuts, man.
yeah.
Like actually
Well,
fucking nuts.
my thing is though, if she's as crazy as people make her seem, like, or mentally ill, my thing is she clearly has a sense of or empathy, knowing that she feels bad for what she did because she's crying and shit. If she's gonna try and fight for this mentally ill thing, I don't know if it's gonna work out for. I think it's better for her to go to actual prison, because I've heard stories where the prisoners who end up going to the mentally ill prisons, it's way worse condition than the actual prison.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you are stuck with people who are freaking literally like diagnosed as insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then also, and you're in hospital beds, you're getting tested all day, all these needles, all these medications you have to take. And like, yeah, and it just all the torment and shit. Like, no person should have to go through that.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go for this mentally ill thing and you're not mentally ill, prepare yourself because that's not good. And I also hear that this woman, this is not her first car accident. She's
Yeah.
been in
Yeah.
9 others or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that as well. It's like, who the hell's insuring her? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, God,
Like,
man.
why is she on the road? Why aren't they like banning her license?
I don't know. Maybe like she stole a car, or, like stole like a family member's car or something like that. But just
And she
really
was a
fucking
nurse, you
unbelievable.
said?
And she's a nurse, yeah. Like, well, that was like by career. Like she was a legitimate nurse. And then they finally like deemed her mentally ill. This case, and it's like so fucking crazy that like people are out there like doing shit like that. And it's tough because with if she was happen to be like, if she did happen to be mentally ill, those guys don't even know like right from wrong, right? Like
Right.
I would assume that the compassion aspect, like Carlos brought up earlier, where she was crying, I'm hoping that those tears were for what she did, as opposed to like her being like, oh, my life is ruined now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I also watched, and seen cases where the person has no compassion for the victims whatsoever, and they sit there and just cry because they know that their life is over and they're going to jail
Right.
for the next X amount of years or whatever like that. So I just really wanted to bring that story up just because of how fucking sad it is for these people just to be casually living their lives, and then all of a sudden it gets taken away in an instant. Because somebody's bad decisions for whatever reason. Realistically, it really shows how life can be sort of just like taken away in a moment. Super, super sad, man. Yeah.
Awful.
Terrible.
Thoughts go out to all the victims and
Definitely.
their families and friends affected. Yeah, it's just a really shitty situation.
Mhm.
Just
Definitely.
I don't know, man. It's obviously she's at fault, but is is it would you say that the state is that to blame as well, considering that they allowed her to drive again, knowing full well that she had all those accidents?
Yeah,
Like her
definitely.
insurance company?
Definitely. I don't
Because
know
that's quite a bit of
exactly.
accidents to be a part. Like
Oh yeah.
nine, I believe nine, they said. That's quite a bit.
I don't know the exact, facts of it, whether like she had a valid license and a valid insurance, like whether that car was hers or anything like that. But if it was, and she did have some sort of like a valid, insurance, driver's license, like up and running car, and that was her car or whatever like that, then yeah, like definitely like circumstances like are a little bit out to blame, like, because I know how concepts are, like, corporations are, where money talks, where it's like, man, maybe in America it's just that easy to get insurance, no matter, so long as you have money. You know what I mean? And like in Canada, when we have like certain insurance policies, if you have a certain amount of accidents, they just won't insure you. They'll just be like, no, you can't
Yeah,
drive. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
we're not giving you insurance. Like, you can have your license, cool, but you're not driving legally. And
Right.
if you do happen to be driving illegally, then that's like you committing a crime, pretty much, right? So
Hmm.
in this case, I don't know the full stats of it. Like, hopefully, I can't even say hopefully, because people happen to lose their lives over it, but it's actually fucked up. It's tough, man, because you try to control your, like, society so much to the point where it's like, hey, we create these rules and regulations and stuff like that, but not everyone abides by them, right? Like, that's what creates like things like crimes, and that's why we had to create law to punish the people who don't happen to follow these like laws or whatever it may be, right? So yeah, I don't know. Just
It's amazing to me how someone whose job it is to support those, to help save lives, and help those who are injured, um or in near or like nearing death, could do something like this,
Mhm.
knowing full well it's her job to help save lives, and she did this and took quite a bit of lives that day. Just like, it really makes
Yeah.
you think. Just like, some people are just like, it's just a job to them, especially with a job like this, what I mean? Like being a nurse, that you really like, if you're dealing with people's lives, this is not something you could just look at as a 9 to 5.
No.
Like I feel if you're a nurse, you should genuinely care. Sorry, you should genuinely care about helping people.
Yeah. Definitely.
And to do something like this, and you can say, "Oh, it's just a freak accident." I get it. This in some cases this could be a freak accident, but the situation and her past of getting into accidents, this is not something that can be forgiven at this time. I hope the court will do their justice onto her, and I hope the families and the friends of the victims will get the justice they deserve. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm.
I speaking of nurses. Sorry, I almost said nurses.
Oh boy,
It's not even a
Mike
word.
Tyson over here.
But speaking of nurses and the healthcare system,
Yeah.
and I know another one of these serious topics that I feel like we should at least touch upon, but there's been a lot of recent news, at least within Canada, that a lot of hospitals are closing down due to shortages
Yeah.
of just staff and doctors, and our healthcare system is just like on the brink of like fucking collapse or like destruction kind of thing. And speaking what Carlos was saying about how nurses should sort of feel and care about what they do, as opposed to it being like just a job, right? Like Carlos and I, and I'm sure that many of our listeners, you fans that happen to be listening to us, I'm sure that you've worked a job in the past where it's like, man, this is just a job. Like, I could care less about this job, right?
Right.
And then you hope that every single nurse that happens to sign up to be a nurse does not care so much about the money in that case, but they care about actually helping people or whatever it may be. But I feel like with the example that we have as of today, and like the brink of collapse, it's like our nurses don't feel that way. You know what I mean? And I feel like because there happens to be a shortage, there isn't enough nurses being like, man, we don't get paid enough for this shit. And I'm not saying that 100% they don't care, because I'm sure that at some point they do fucking care about their patients and they really want to take care of them. But at the end of the day, like we said, money talks.
Yeah.
So it's like if a nurse that's been doing it for X amount of years, let's say 10 years, for example, and then feels like they're getting overworked, shortages, asking to put in extra time, even though they need to go home kind of thing. And then they feel like they're not getting paid enough for it. It's like, of course there's going to be a fucking shortage, right? Like, why would people want to work a job that's like super stressful?
Yeah.
So it's like, I can understand the whole concept of, why we have certain shortages, because these nurses are doing so much fucking work, but then aren't getting like properly compensated for it. So then our health minister of Canada, I believe, recently came out and said that they are willing to actually take in privatized healthcare to help out with the shortage of nurses and like staff and whatever it may be. And I wanted to ask you, Carlos, like what you think about, do you think that Ontario would be is it a good thing for Canada to sort of privatize healthcare in a case like the way America is? Or do you think that we should somehow just sort of kind of fix what we have and maybe, I don't know, like try to spark some nurses to get back into the industry so that they start caring about their patients as opposed to it being like all about money kind of thing, Or what do you think about the whole situation? It's pretty fucked.
Yeah, I think the shortage, I mean, it's pretty fucked up knowing that there's not enough nurses to assist. I think that especially after the whole COVID situation, and all these nurses are just like overwhelmed, and not being able to take work, and not if and after all that, they look at their paycheck just like, dude, come on, you gotta do better than that. And I get it, You know what I mean? 100%. Like, especially after everything that went down, like, yeah, we need to talk money because, literally they've been through hell those
Yeah.
last few years, and it's still going on to this day, 100%. And I completely understand. In terms of this privatized stuff, I'm not sure what they mean by that. Like, do they mean meaning yeah, I actually don't know what that means, to be perfectly honest with you.
So I think that like one of the ideas is to like, let's say if there's like a third party company of like nurses or
Mm,
like doctors, right? Um, do we does the government sort of give money to that company to bring nurses into like, public hospitals to help with extra help? Or maybe potentially that we start sending like our citizens to those private companies to be like, hey, now if you do need some sort of assistance, you now have to pay money to get looked at by a doctor when it's free in Canada. And we know it's
mm,
free. Like you walk into
right,
a doctor's office, your OHIP or your federal like healthcare policy happens to help pay for it. Whatever it may be. It's free for
mm,
me to go, and if I break my arm, I can go get a cast and fucking thing for free or get looked
right,
at for maybe a couple dollars at most. You know what I mean? But in America, they have like more privatized healthcare where it's like if I break my arm and I walk into a hospital, I'm walking out with a huge bill because like I had to take the doctor's time and the nurse's time and then all of the material that it went into like giving me a brace and x-rays and all that kind of shit
mm,
when all that stuff's covered. So it's like for the people that are hurt and don't want to wait on like, shortages or like try to go to an emergency room and have to wait 3 or 4 hours to get looked at, do we just send them to a private healthcare, you know,
mm.
company for them to like deal with it? But then those people have to pay,
Hey,
like a certain
well, I
amount
mean,
kind of
well, Canada is just known for its free healthcare.
thing.
If we if we lose that, then
Yeah.
we lose a big portion of what we're known for.
Mhm.
A big portion as to why this country is so great.
Mhm.
And I mean, I get the privatized thing would help, with patients, seeing patients a lot faster, but I don't think it's a good thing in the long run.
Yeah.
Um, because it's just, I think it's just more money for the government at the end of the day.
Mhm.
I think it's BS.
Yeah.
If they're willing to shell out the money, why don't they shell out the money to hire more nurses and give them more money to the nurses who truly do deserve it?
Yeah. Definitely.
So that's my take on it.
It's crazy, man. Like just COVID in itself just like started this fucking domino effect, it seems like.
Yeah,
And it
man.
probably even started from before it, for
Yeah.
those who are in healthcare and, understand the system better than Carlos and I, do 10 times over. But in this case, it's just a really scary moment. Like luckily, Carlos and I are both healthy individuals to the point where we don't have
Yeah.
to go to the
Healthier than, yeah.
well, we're not
Hey.
like going to the hospital every freaking cough or like sneeze that we happen to have. It's like you kind of just stay home, take care of yourself, and then you get better, right? But
Mm,
for like individuals that need to go to the ER and have to wait like days upon days or hours upon hours to get even looked at, like it's a scary thought, man. Like it really is. So hopefully the government can sort of figure that shit out. That's all I got to really say on that kind of topic in itself. But fuck,
fuck it.
yeah,
Fuck, what's his name? The fat one. Doug Ford.
Dougie,
Dougie.
Douglas,
Madougie? Madougie. So she was
Douglas.
Madougie. Dougie Ford. Dougie Ford. Dougie Ford. All right, let's talk Vegas for a sec. Viva! How long are we? We have about how many weekends? Oh, like literally the rest of this week, the next week, then the week after we go to Vegas.
Yeah, so Carlos and I are attending Vegas for a lovely, lovely bachelor party. And we'll definitely talk
You
about
call
the
it
whole
lovely.
experience.
I say it's raunchy, X-rated, saying it's going downtown, mound bound, rebound, hold downtown. Know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, bro, I'm trying to give the people's elbow to all kinds of females that weekend, bro. I'm trying to do it right all night, a night, show you right. Know what I mean? Yo, bro, shoot, you might as well call me Steve Austin, because every damn day I'm gonna be looking like a stone cold stunner.
So as we can see, Carlos clearly has some sort of an idea of what he wants to be doing out there, which I applaud. You know, definitely. I'm super excited for Carlos.
You'll be applauding, all right. You know who else is gonna be applauding? Them cheeks on the stripper pole.
Oh my.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, he's gonna take full advantage of the city of sin. Full
City of
advantage.
sin.
You see his smile? You see the
Trying to,
smile?
I'm trying to, it's called the city of sin, man. I'm trying to bless up that city. You know what I'm saying? Show them the good word.
But we are going to Vegas, and I know that we brought it up in a past couple of episodes, but it's coming up soon. We're actually leaving on the 26th of August, and we'll be back on the 29th. So just a few days out there. It should be a lot of fun. We're hoping to make some sort of content out there at least, so that we can definitely come back and share it with you. I'm sure there's gonna be fucking tons of funny ass stories that Carlos and I will have.
Las Vegas.
But
Viva
it'll be
Las
good.
Vegas.
It'll be good. But Carlos, before we get into the closing parts of this episode, tell me what you're excited about with Vegas.
Yeah.
Other than the whole,
How much time do I have?
The whole thing that we just went over. But
What?
tell me what you're excited about.
Other than the whole thing I just went over, then what is there to talk about? Never mind. Then what the hell?
What do you mean? Like food? Like I hear the food out there is great. I heard in America they're not like stingy on alcohol at all. Like you excited to drink,
Right.
you excited to party, you excited to see the sights. Saboli, like
How many times have you asked someone who's just been to Las Vegas, hey man, how's Vegas? How's the food? That's not the first thing that comes out of their mouth.
I don't know. I'm excited to try
The
some
first
stuff.
thing when people come up to like, hey man, how was Vegas? How was the bitches? And I'd just be like, yeah, where do I begin? Where do I begin? So no, I don't. Vegas is gonna be a different story. I'm trying to get Ryan pregnant that weekend, and I'm trying to get Ryan, you know, Ryan to get, to do the whole
Come on,
going
man.
to the whole
Come on, man.
trying to get Ryan pregnant that weekend. Ryan comes back with an illegitimate baby, all in that one weekend. He's gonna have a 2-year-old baby when he comes back that weekend. And then his girl's gonna ask him a bunch of questions, and Ryan will not remember due to the alcoholism that he suffers from. And then I'm just trying to have a good time. Exploring, seeing the lights at the night. Hopefully seeing a few shows out there. Eating some nice food. I'm curious to see how our hotel rooms are like. Hopefully they give us some nice rooms. I hope there's a tub in my room. I'm trying to bubble bath my place up a little bit, and yeah. And if I do lay the smack down, I'll keep y'all posted. No, I'm kidding. I'll keep that to myself. I don't sweet chin music and tell.
God.
Why do you shake your head in disappointment with what I talk about? You literally have no words for after what I just said. You're absolutely
I'm speechless, man. You're too funny.
Oh Jesus.
I, on the other hand,
Yeah.
excited to, definitely hit some restaurants up. We'll definitely try to make some sort of a collage of photos or something like that. I've been actually doing a lot of research on Vegas and the come ups and certain rules out there, because it is different from, Toronto. And I've never been. I don't think Carlos has ever been to Vegas.
Nope,
So
never
it's
been.
definitely going to be a first for both of us. But they have some crazy like rules, and even like the social rules that aren't written on paper. Some of that stuff is actually crazy too. Just before getting into it, supposedly like one of the coolest tricks out there is to tip to try and get your favor for a lot of things. So like in Toronto, for you to get into a club, you might offer like the bouncer maybe like $50 or something like that. You know what I mean? For him to bypass the line. So what I was reading is that a lot of people, when you're booking your hotel or like when you get to your hotel, sometimes you can like, when you give your ID or your passport and then like your credit card to book the hotel, because they put it down for damages and all that kind of stuff. And they have to record who's staying in the room. You put like a 20 in between your ID and your credit card, and then you just ask them really politely and be like, hey, can you like upgrade my room somehow? Or can you give us like a free breakfast with that? Or like a later checkout or something along those lines. Most of the time it will actually work, supposedly. So like it shows how like tipping culture in Vegas is actually huge because it doesn't really happen that much, I don't think, in Toronto, at least from my understanding. Maybe I haven't done enough of that stuff in Toronto.
We have more pride here. We have more,
Everybody can be bought in Vegas, supposedly.
Yeah, apparently.
But that's the concept. So if you go to Vegas, you try to slip as many people $20 to see if you can get a better room, a better seat, a better table, if you're looking for that kind of thing. I don't know. Just one of those funny things. So I'm personally gonna try it. Maybe Carlos will get it on video. I do want to try it to see what happens. But we'll go from there and we'll hopefully post that. It'll be pretty funny.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh boy. Well, anyway, so I will try and get the video. I'll also get the video of bailing Ryan out for trying to, coerce his way into getting a bigger room. So that's a lot of money that's well wasted on that first day. But yeah, we'll see what other money we can waste that weekend, and we'll keep you posted. Again, we're not going to say too much because we don't want to ruin the surprise of what we have planned. And also we're trying to enjoy the weekend and keep most things to ourselves. All right. But whatever good times that there will be had, we'll keep you posted. But that's Vegas in 2 weeks or so. So
yeah,
we'll wait on it, and it'll be good.
We did happen to say that our flight is the Friday, the 26th. So, usually we would drop an episode on the 25th. So, Carlos and I still have to talk about that. An episode before Vegas, and then there'll definitely be one on the 1st of September, which is most likely our Vegas experience episode. Stay posted for that kind of stuff. So it'll be cool. Carlos and I haven't, because of COVID, Carlos and I haven't done like a trip, I would say, where we got to post like our experiences and what we're doing outside of just Canada and Toronto. And we do talk a lot about Toronto just because, it's where we reside. But it'll be exciting. It's definitely going to be a cool experience.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Ryan?
I think one of my biggest thoughts is that, even just the proof of this, and even though it was cool to come back and do like one of these Zoom meeting episodes, COVID is still real, everybody. I do know more people have been getting it over the last couple months. And I think it's just because we've been open and it's summer and people are out and about, this and that. So please take it seriously. If you can, put the mask on, try to do what you can to be able to avoid it, because you definitely don't want to be sick. I'm sure Carlos feels the exact same way with the whole fever and cold sweats thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably my final thought in this episode. Definitely, take it seriously. It's still here.
Yeah. Whatever Ryan said. Again, to my fellow purebloods, think about the vaccine, to my fellow trucker convoy drivers and supporters, still support, but at the same time, wear a mask and use Lysol wipes, and just get the vaccine. and to my hero and you know, a guy who I really look up to, a really black, a truly black inspiration, a black man who is an inspiration to not just me, to all my fellow black people across the world. Chris Sky, I'm really sorry that I disappointed you, and I hope to one day be in your good books. Yeah, that's all I gotta say on that.
I was tripping, man. But
All hail, all hail.
well, that's the end of the episode.
All right. Well, tune in next week where I'll keep you posted if I have COVID still or not. Other than that, I'm Carlos,
I'm Ryan.
and this is the Blanco Carlos and Ryan. Fill it in. Oh, God. Yeah, fill it in. Oh,
Later,
geez.
everybody.
Peace.